What's up, everybody? Alex from TwinGamingTV back with another MLB The Show 17 video. Today, I'm going to be going over my roster update predictions for Friday, June 23rd, 2017. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say a couple things. One, I only have one downgrade prediction. The rest are upgrades. And secondly, there's not a lot. Like, I don't go over every single player that deserves an upgrade. There's obviously a lot of players that deserve upgrades, and I could not get to them all for you guys. However, and this is something I'm going to want from you guys every single week, in the comments below, comment players that you think deserve upgrades and deserve downgrades if I did not get to them. And what would really help me out is if you left their position, their team, and their overall included in the comment. You don't have to do this, but that would just make it a lot easier for me to find the players and sort them out. Now, for this update, I'm going to be starting with pitchers and then ending with outfielders going by position. And let's get into the predictions. So we're going to be starting off with starting pitchers, and first starting pitcher we have on the list is 82 overall Robbie Ray. This week I'm giving Robbie Ray a +2. Not quite a gold yet, but I think he could definitely earn gold if he keeps it up. This season he has a 2.87 ERA with a 197 batting average against, and he has 114 strikeouts this season with only 10 homers allowed. So I definitely think there can be an increase to H per 9, also an increase to homers per 9. So definitely look for an upgrade for Robbie Ray. I'm thinking an 84 and then gold in the next couple weeks if he continues to pitch how he's been pitching. Next on the list, we have Carlos Martinez, the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's currently 83 overall, and this week I have him getting a +2 up to an 85 overall gold. This season, he has a 2.86 ERA, a 195 batting average against, 107 strikeouts, and only 8 home runs allowed. So I think you could see an increase to H per 9, K per 9, and just like Robbie Ray, home runs per 9. And Carlos Martinez's price is already reflecting almost that of a gold. His buy now is currently around 1,000, with sell now being around 800. So a lot of people seem to think he's probably going to be getting that bump up to gold soon with how he's been pitching. Next up, we have Chase Anderson of the Milwaukee Brewers. He's currently an 80 overall, and this week I'm going to be giving him a +3 to an 83 overall. This season, he's sporting a 2.92 ERA, 234 averaged against him, and 7 homers allowed this season. So definitely I can see an increase in HR per 9, home runs per 9, an increase in K per 9, and an increase in hits per 9. He's been pitching very well this season, not quite gold caliber level, but if he keeps pitching how he's doing and keeps pitching well, look for a possible gold candidate in him later this season. Up next, we have Ervin Santana, a starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. He's currently 82 overall, and this week I have him getting a +2 up to an 84 overall. His ERA this season is 2.97 with a 186 batting average against. So I can definitely see an increase in hits per 9 with how low the batting average has been. Overall, he's been killing it this season, and honestly, he's another potential gold starting pitcher candidate if he keeps it up and continues to pitch solid this season. Last starting pitcher we have on the list is Michael Fulmer of the Detroit Tigers. He's currently 84 overall, and this week I am getting a +1 going gold, strictly due to the fact that he has only allowed 4 home runs this season, and his HR per 9 is currently 66, so I think he can definitely get a bump in that, which will bump him up 1 overall into a gold. You could probably bump up some of the stats a little bit more, which would help with that +1 increase and make him go gold. Unfortunately, on my list this week, I do not have any relief pitchers or closing pitchers, so definitely if you're thinking about commenting below somebody that deserves an upgrade, look out for some relief pitchers or closing pitchers so I can get some on the list for next week. With that being said, up next we have the catcher position. Our first upgrade candidate here is Mike Zunino of the Seattle Mariners. He has been killing it lately. He's currently a 75 overall in the game, and this week I have him getting a huge +6 upgrade to an 81 overall silver. The last 30 days, he's batting .333 with a .380 on base percentage and .714 slugging percentage. Currently, his contact versus righties is 26, and his contact versus lefties is 43. So I'm definitely thinking that he gets a boost in contact versus righties, maybe a boost in contact versus lefties. He's batting .250 against righties and .278 against lefties this season, but he has 30 hits versus righties and only 10 versus lefties, so the sample size is a lot smaller for the lefties, and I think he definitely deserves a boost into that contact versus righties. However, it would not surprise me if he only got a +2 or +3 upgrade to a high bronze and did not go silver this week, just because overall for the season he's not doing super hot, only batting .256 with 9 homers, but he has been killing it the last 30 days. He's been batting extremely well, so maybe a potential silver upgrade, but don't be surprised if he only gets +2 or 3. The second and last catcher roster update prediction that I have is actually the only downgrade I have in this prediction video as well. It's Yasmani Grandal, and he's currently an 85 overall in the game, and I have him getting a -1 this week, going down to an 84. The past 30 days, he's only been batting .202 with only 2 homers. So I'm looking at a decrease in contact and a decrease in power, and getting that drop down from gold back to silver, but only a -1 this week, down to an 84. And to me, this week, I'm going to label him as a sell now. I think that drop to silver is imminent. It's just a matter of if it's going to be this week or next week, in my opinion. Next up, we have the first baseman, and the guy we're going to be starting with is Edwin Encarnacion, currently an 83 overall. This week, I have him getting a +2 upgrade, going to an 85 overall gold. He's going back to gold. He started the season off gold and then started the season off pretty slow and got downgraded, but he's picked it up recently and has been killing it, and I think he deserves that gold again. A lot of you guys must think he does too, because just like Carlos Martinez, his buy now sitting around 1,000 and sell now is sitting around 800. Next on our first baseman list, we have 71 overall Matt Adams, a first baseman for the Atlanta Braves, recently traded from my favorite team, the St. Louis Cardinals. This week, I have him getting a +4 up to a 75 overall. The last 30 days, he's been batting .306 with 10 home runs. Overall in the season, he actually has 11 homers, so in the last 30 days, he's gotten 10 of his 11 home runs, and 9 of his 11 home runs this season have come against righties, and he's batting .313 against righties as well. So I think you could see an increase in contact and power versus righties. Lefties, I think it's pretty good where it's at, but I think that boost to power, especially for righties, could get Matt Adams a pretty solid upgrade. Last on our first baseman list, we have the Dodgers first baseman Cody Bellinger, who's currently a 75 overall. This week, I'm giving him a +2 up to a 77. He has 22 home runs already this season. It is his rookie season, which is why I'm going with a small upgrade. I do think you can see a boost in power, maybe a little bit of a boost in contact. He's batting .270 this season, but I think he definitely needs a boost in power. It is a small sample size, however, because this is his first year in the MLB. So you're probably going to see Cody Bellinger in a lot of roster updates just because his stats keep changing, and they're going to want to keep trying to match his stats to fit his player pretty well. Next up on the list, we have the second baseman, and Jonathan Schoop is actually the only second baseman on my list this week. He's currently a 79 overall, and I'm going to be giving him a +3 this week up to an 82 overall silver. Over the last 30 days, he's been batting .320 with 9 homers, and he's batting .289 on the season with 14 home runs. So I think you can definitely look for a little bit of a boost to the power stat and to the contact stat as well, especially with how he's been hitting the past 30 days. And I definitely think he deserves that upgrade to silver, whether he's going to get it this week or next week. He's actually a guy that a lot of you guys told me about, so I appreciate that, and I really do try and look through your comments and include some of those guys in my roster predictions. Next on the list, we have our third baseman, and again, Jose Ramirez is going to be the only third baseman, just like Jonathan Schoop was the only second baseman. Jose Ramirez is currently an 86 overall, and this week I'm giving him a +2 up to an 88 overall. This season, he's currently batting .320 with 11 home runs, and last season, he actually had 11 home runs for the entire season, so I'm definitely looking at an increase to power versus righties and a little bit of an increase to power versus lefties. 8 of his home runs are coming versus righties, so I definitely think you can see a boost to that. And then 3 of them are versus lefties, so a small increase there as well. For the season, he's batting .329 versus righties and .307 versus lefties. I think his contact versus righties is pretty solid where it is, but maybe up to 78, 79, maybe even 80 for that contact versus lefties. Now, with that increase in contact and that increase in power, I think you can definitely expect a 1 or 2 point upgrade for Jose Ramirez. Next up on the list, we have our only shortstop for the week, and that's going to be Carlos Correa. He's currently an 89 overall gold, and I'm going to be giving him a +1 this week up to 90 overall, getting that bump to diamond. Now, this is someone that I'm a little hesitant about making diamond. A lot of you guys think he deserves an upgrade. He's been playing well. This season, he's batting 299, but he's batting 321 versus lefties this season, and 1/6 of his hits versus lefties are home runs, which is about the same as righties. However, he's only had 56 at-bats versus lefties, and he's at about 200 versus righties. But I think you could see an increase in that contact and power versus lefties, but I think you could definitely see an increase in that contact and power versus lefties, and maybe even envision he's been getting quite a few walks this season, and his strikeouts have not been that terrible. While I am giving him a +1 going to diamond this week, I don't think it's super likely. This is something that could happen, but it would not surprise me at all if it did not happen. Last but not least, we have the outfielders, and there's actually only 2 outfielders on my list for this week. First up, we have Ender Inciarte. He's 82 overall center fielder for the Braves. I'm giving him a +2 this week, up to an 84 overall. Not quite gold, but in his last 30 days, he's been batting 375 and has 6 home runs, which last season he only had 3 homers. 5 of his home runs are versus righties, and only 1 of them is versus lefties. He is batting 346 against lefties and 297 against righties this season, so I think you can see a decent increase to power versus righties, maybe up to 45 or 50 from 37, and then maybe that power versus lefties up from 25 to 30 or 32, 33. I think you could also see a small increase in contact, maybe 85 or 86 versus righties, and then 79 or 80 versus lefties. And with that boost in power and that small boost in contact, I think you could see him going to an 84. Not quite a gold, but if he continues to hit the ball how he's been hitting it and increase his home run totals, I think you could definitely see him be a gold candidate for later on in the season. Actually, we have 3 outfielders on our list. The second of the 3 is Matt Kemp. He's been killing it this season, and I have him getting a +2 up to an 86 overall, going gold with this update. He's batting 322 this season with a 335 average against righties, so I definitely think he deserves an increase to the contact versus righties, especially because he's only batting 233 versus lefties, and he has 80 contact versus those. Also, 9 of his 11 home runs are versus righties, so I think he needs a boost to the power versus righties as well. So definitely expect Matt Kemp to go gold this update. He deserves it. He is a guaranteed gold in my opinion, whether it's this week or next week or the week after, but he deserves gold. Last but not least on our predictions for this week, we have 83 overall right fielder for the Yankees, Aaron Judge. I'm pretty sure a lot of people think Aaron Judge is due for that upgraded gold because his buy now is about 4,200 and his sell now is about 3,800. This week, I'm going to be giving Aaron Judge a +3 up to an 86 overall, which does give him that boost up to gold. This season, he's batting 333, 348 against lefties, and 330 against righties. So I think you could definitely see an increase in his contact versus lefties and his contact versus righties. I'm thinking about 70s and maybe in between 70 and 75 for contact versus righties, and then in between 65 and 70s versus lefties. So probably a +5 to 10 contact versus righties and a +5 to 11 for his contact versus lefties. He's been continuing to tear the ball up this season, so I definitely think his power is in the right spot. Doesn't really need an update there, but I think you can definitely increase his vision from maybe about 37 to 45, maybe even 50. He still has been striking out a fair amount this season. However, he's been drawing a lot more walks. So with his average, I think he's definitely due for an increase in contact versus righties and lefties. I think his power is pretty solid where it is, but needs an increase in vision. I'd say 45, maybe even 50 is pretty solid and might be the correct amount for Aaron Judge. In my opinion, Aaron Judge is definitely deserving of a gold. And again, it's just a matter of, will he get it this week, next week, the week after that? It's just a matter of when they decide to give him that gold status. That is going to be it for my roster update predictions. Remember to comment some people you think are deserving or that I might have missed for next week's roster predictions. I'll definitely be looking at the comments and trying to factor those into my predictions as well. I'm sorry I definitely didn't cover nearly enough players as I wanted to this week. I only covered 1 downgrade candidate. I'm going to try to increase it every week and just see what the best way for me to go about making these videos are. But definitely give me some feedback. How did you like the setup of the video? What did you think of my predictions? Just let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below, and maybe any changes I can make or things that I should keep the same. But if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.